Hello, this is Sunny from Inside Merch. I'm back with another one of my videos. In this video, I'm actually going to make a series of videos going over Etsy and Printful, how I use them, and essentially how to get you going on selling on Etsy and using Printful as the fulfillment operator for your Etsy store. So in this episode of the series, we're going to cover how to set up Etsy to be successful with Etsy, how to set it up initially, and how to set up Printful. And I'll go through an overview of the Etsy platform and the Printful platform, and a little bit about the Etsy Printful integration that they have, and why I don't use Etsy integration with Printful. Before we do that, we got to do some housekeeping here. So as always, if you want to join my Facebook group, I have a Facebook group that is almost 500 strong right now. You can get to that group by going to facebook.insidemerch.com. It will redirect you right to our Inside Merch Facebook group. There you can go ahead and request to join the Facebook group. There will be a small questionnaire before you're able to join, just asking you to not promote your products or services without permission within the group. Once you have completed that little small questionnaire, it will be sent to me, and I will then approve you to join the group. In the group, we have a lot of members who are very new to the service, along with people who are quite experienced with both Etsy and Printful and Merch by Amazon. And so if you have a question and you're looking to have the question answered by myself or by any members here on Inside Merch, that is a great place for you to submit your questions and get community feedback. Also, most of you are probably seeing this video on YouTube, so make sure that you go ahead and subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you're not watching this on YouTube, you can get to the YouTube channel by going to youtube.insidemerch.com. It will redirect you right to the YouTube channel. There you can watch my other YouTube videos about Merch by Amazon, Amazon AMS, and a few other videos that I have. And possibly learn something you didn't know about the Merch by Amazon platform. But when you do go to the YouTube website, make sure you do go ahead and click on our subscribe link over here so that you can get updated on when new videos come out. Also, if you want, go ahead and click the little bell here. This will make sure that when I do release new videos, that you do get a notification up here about new videos being released. We are about a little over 600 strong as of this video, so we are growing, and I do appreciate anyone who have already subscribed and are enjoying the videos that I'm producing here. So let's go ahead and head into Etsy here. So if you don't know what Etsy is a, let's just say, independent seller, handmade selling platform. So it's for people who are making handmade or are selling supply based products. The way that we actually want to use Etsy, the people who are watching this video most likely, is we want to sell our shirts on Etsy. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to use Printful as the fulfillment operator on Etsy, and we'll use Printful to make the shirt from the designs that we create, and they will fulfill the shirts. Fulfillment meaning they will print the design on the shirt, they will package the shirt, and they will ship it to our customer. Etsy is going to be the e-commerce platform we're going to use to find the customer to get the sale of the shirt. So I went ahead and, for the sake of not, I didn't want to have to do a ton of editing on the video. I decided to just start a fresh account, so I can walk you through completely how you want to set up your account. If I were to use my current account, I would have to gray out a lot of stuff, and it would turn into a lot of work. So I went ahead and went ahead and just created a whole new account. And I'll just walk you through what you need to know with the new account. Okay, so this is a brand new account. I literally just created this account. I haven't did any editing to it. So once you sign up, you just need an email. It's going to ask for your first name or email address and a password. That's all you need. And then you're signed up for Etsy. Once you're signed in, you do need to do a few things. So if we want to go ahead and go to our view profile here, you'll find we have nothing here. The first thing you want to do is you want to upload a profile photo. So we'll choose a designs. We'll go into, this is what happens when you do no setup. We'll go ahead and choose a smaller one here. Our inside merch logo here. Our design. It's showing a black background here just because I don't have a it's actually a transparent image, so it got the logo with the transparent background. So you want to make sure that you do upload your design with a white background so that it does not show black in the behind here, unless you prefer the black background. So so we uploaded the new image. The image is important as it's a branding point for your customer base. People aren't going to trust you if you don't have a reputable image there. So since Etsy is a intimate, I'll use the word intimate, e-commerce platform, most people actually will frown upon using a company-ish brand. They actually want a more personal experience. When they're shopping with you, shopping from you, they want to feel like they're actually shopping from an actual person. So what I would actually recommend is that you include a photo of yourself, and as to, instead of using a branded logo like I'm using with Inside Merch, I'm just using it as a placeholder. On my actual profile, I actually have an image of myself. So I would recommend that you actually do have an image of yourself as your actual profile image, as it's going to have it's going to hold a little bit more weight than a branded company-based logo. So we got our image here. Now let's go ahead and edit our profile. There are a few things you need to know about the way Etsy's going to list your listing when you create a listing. It actually does go by how detailed you have filled out, how much information you filled out on your profile. If you don't have an image, if you don't have an about, if you don't have certain aspects of your profile filled out and of your store profile filled out, your listings will actually have less weight on the Etsy search engine. So it's very important that you fill out as much of this information as possible. Not only that, because also a lot of people like to, before they shop with somebody, they want to see who that person is. And so you want to make sure that you have this filled out so the customer feels safe shopping with you. So I'm just going to have and put in some information here. So I'm located at Tampa, Florida. You can either, for location, since you're using Printful, you can either put Printful's city address here, or you could put your location. I put my location, but feel free to also put Printful, because that's where it's going to be shipping from. And when people see the invoice, it's actually going to be, it's actually going to list the ship from location as whatever you put in the city area here. So if you want to make it as transparent to your customer as possible, go ahead and put the Printful city and state information here. That way, the customer, when they look at their invoice, it will show a direct correlation from where it's actually being shipped from on their invoice. So I'll put my birth date here, February 26th. And what you want to do here is you want to put a, it doesn't have to be a huge about section, but it needs to be enough that the customer feels safe shopping with you. So, you see what I put in. I don't quite remember what I put in my about for my other site, for my other thing here. I'm actually on my second monitor here looking at what I put here. So actually what I did on my about for my main for my main profile here is let me look in here. It's not showing it. I actually just put in just a little descriptor about who I am. So you know, obviously I put my name's Sonny Woods. I am an independent designer who sells shirts on Etsy. I am new to the Etsy platform, but I'm excited about providing quality shirts and designs to my Etsy customer base. You know, something simple like that. You know, most people aren't going to click directly to your personal profile. They're going to click at your store profile, so that's going to be a little bit more important than what you put here on your personal profile. But some people do want to actually know the actual person behind the shop, so you want to fill out a little bit about who you are. Favorite materials. You don't necessarily have to fill this part out. It's not quite as relevant, but this is more for if you're like actually creating a product from scratch. But since we're using Printful as a sourcing element here, you can put like cotton, or if you're doing like mugs and stuff, you can put like ceramic, or just little descriptions about what the material is of the product that you're using. And I always include my shop link, my favorite items link. This is like items that you've actually favorited on Etsy, so people can see like what you've actually liked on Etsy itself, the shops that you've liked yourself. Treasury lists are less relevant because that element of Etsy is not as relevant anymore, so you don't have to have that. And teams are just like, if you're not just using if you're just not going and doing this yourself, but you actually have like a group of people, you can create yourself like a little team, and that will show you a little team page there too. So I normally just have like the shop, my favorite items, and my favorite shops there. Since I'm not working as a team, I don't need to show my team or treasury list here, so you can uncheck either of them too. And then you just you'd save that information there. All right. And then let's move on to settings here. If you have a dedicated like Facebook page, you can connect your Facebook page, or connect your Twitter, and connect your Google. So when people come to your profile, they'll be able to see links back to each of them social platforms there. And that's pretty much all you need to know for your personal profile. Let's go to preferences here. You want to make sure that you're actually set to the language that you want to sell at, or how you want to view the site. Obviously, I'm going to see it in English, so I got it in English. You want to make sure that the default currency that you're going to see when you look at prices is going to be the currency in which you're selling at. It's just for convenience sake. If you're selling in the UK, but you have all your pricings set in US dollars, it may be hard for you to do the conversion in your head when you're looking back at your listing. So I try to keep that the same. Obviously, I'm selling in US dollars, so I keep the way I view my currency in US dollars. The region in which you're going to be wanting to see your content, I'm obviously US based. So, and then we can do privacy. This is all personal preference here: privacy, security settings. If you want to do two-factor authentication, Your address is obviously this is going to be your shipping address that you're personally going to use if you buy stuff on Etsy. Credit cards, and then emails. This stuff is not necessarily relevant to your actual Etsy shop, but it's you want to make sure you have this stuff set up so that you're using Etsy properly. And then what you want to do is then you want to go into your account settings here, and hold on, we want to go into our shop settings to sell on Etsy. We want to open our Etsy store here, and then we're gonna do the way we're gonna essentially walk you through the setup process here. So I'm obviously going to want my shop in English because English is my primary language. I'm US based, so I'm going to have my shop US based. Printful does have a European distribution center, so you can have your stuff set in the EU if you want. But for convenience sake, most of the customers that I ship to are in the US, so I have my shop also set in the US. The currency, I deal only in US dollars. So I make sure I have the shop currency set in US dollars. They can use other currencies to make the purchases. Etsy will automatically convert it into US dollars. So you don't have to worry about if you have it set to US dollars that it's not going to accept Canadian dollars or it's not going to accept euros or pesos or whatever. It will automatically be converted into the currency that your shop accepts. And then you just need to what best describes yourself. So are you selling on, are you going to use Etsy to be your full-time job? Are you going to, is it going to be part-time? Is it going to be part-time, but you're hoping it would be full-time? Or is it just something you're doing on a part-time basis? You're not really trying to take it too seriously, or other. I set it as part-time, you know, it's part-time. I do what I kind of want with it, you know. I'm not looking to turn it into a full-time situation, but I am looking to make some side cash on it. Then we're gonna name our shop. Let's call it Intercast Shoppy. Oops. Is that right? Is it two P's and E? Ah, whatever. I think it's two P's and E's. Maybe two E's. Let's do shop. Let's do shop. Check availability. Oh, can't be no spaces. Spaces. All right, so this is how it's going to look to the customer. So it's important that you take in consideration the capitals, okay? Because the way you capitalize it here is also going to be the way it's going to look capitalized on to the customer too. So and also in your URL, it's also going to look that way. So if you want to make sure you emphasize a particular aspect of your name, you want to make sure that you capitalize the parts of that name correctly. And so this is available. Check availability. It's available. Let's save and continue. All right. And this is where you're going to add your first listing here. I'm not going to go into detail about the listing criteria right now. So right now I'm just going to put in some sample stuff here just to get it going. I'm going to have another video where I go into detail about how to create your actual listing. Who made it? You're going to do I did. It's going to do it's a finished product. It's made to order. Category. Clothing. You do unisex adults. Shirts. Tops and tees. And t-shirts. And you notice that it puts you into both the categories for both men and women's when you do that. Primary color can be multicolored. The secondary color, don't need to fall that out. I always fill out, I always put Christmas, birthdays. Size, when you choose unisex, it automatically defaults to men's, which is unfortunate. Automatically choose automatic renewal. We'll learn more about what this is later in another video. It's a physical product. We do sample description. I'll show you how to how to properly fill out this description later. Production partner. This is important here. We want to make sure that we put our production partner as Printful. This is a requirement by Etsy. You don't list your production partner, they can shut your I'm trying to say here, your store down. See here, Printful location. About I forgot where Printful's distribution center's out of. California. Got an actual exact address. Yeah. Okay. So most of my orders come out of Chatsworth, California. So what I'm gonna put here for Printful. About your Printful partner. This is just where you put a little bit about who Printful is, and they actually have an about section where they tell you who they are. What did I use? I gotta remember to edit that part now because I can't show you my customer's information. All right. This is less important. Etsy knows who Printful is already, so having to describe your Printful partner is not exactly necessary. Why are you working with this partner? I don't have the technical ability to do it entirely myself. There you go. I design everything myself. And what is the role of the production partner? To make the component of my product, and I do the to create a finished product that I then alter and customize. There you go. That's what you should put. Make sure you have that checked. You normally want to put in all 13 tags. We don't need to worry about that. Material, we'll put a default price in here, $24.99. Quantity, we'll keep it at 1 SKU. We don't need to do that. We don't mess with variations right now. We'll go over that later time. We'll go over shipping costs and everything and how you want to set up your shipping on a later time too. And let's do a save and continue. Oh, they're gonna make me put something in here. Yeah, I'll put 0, 0, 0. Oh, they want me to put something in there. Guess I gotta put something in. Oh, you know, it's probably because I did calculated. I'll do fixed. Normally do a custom range, 1 to 7 days, business days, not weeks, business days. Very important. And set it to 5. 5 for additional. Outside of US, make it 9. $5 additional. Okay. Save, continue. What do I need to fix? Fill out all the required fields. What am I missing? What did I miss? I missed something? Oh, my image is not exactly big enough. Okay. Let's go with a bigger image here. Maybe that's too big. That was a 10K image. So 10K width. Yeah, that was definitely too big. Let's do a 5K. That might be also too big. Oh, nope, worked. Awesome. What fields am I missing? Filled out everything. Inventory. I missed inventory. Oh, I got quantity in there. Maybe I need to add a variation. We'll do black. We'll do small. Medium. Add one more color, blue. Update. Awesome. Okay, there we go. All right, what are we on? How do you get paid? Okay, we got an image in here. So this is where we're gonna put in some banking information. I don't know if it's gonna let me pass this. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to fill this part out. Maybe I can skip this. Definitely not gonna be able to skip this. All right. I'm gonna do a small pause in the video here where I put in some information here just to pass this part, and then we'll continue. Okay, we're back. So what I essentially had to do was I had to fill out my banking information and had to apply a credit card. The reason you need your banking information is so that they can deposit your funds into your banking account. They use the ACH to deposit it into your bank account, your earnings. And then they need a credit card so that they can charge you for any kind of fees that you incur throughout the month. So they need both them information. So you need to make sure you have a credit card or debit card or something of that nature and a banking account so that you can use Etsy as a seller. All right, so this is the screen that you get immediately after you completed both of them. And there's a few things that we need to do. First, we need to edit our shop. All right. And we're going to skip the tour. So we're just going to work from the top to the bottom here. And we're going to go ahead and put in a logo for our shop here. So we're going to choose a file. We'll do this one here again. All right, now for the logo, you want to make sure you can use a business logo. And it's actually better if you do use a business logo because it shows that you're more professional. So what we're going to see here is we're going to see a business type logo, and then we're going to see the shop owner. The shop owner is going to be your personal profile. When they click here, they're going to go to your personal profile link. That's where you actually want to have your actual real picture, a picture of you. So this shows the customer this is a real person here, a personalized person, and this shows that we have a real business here. So two different ways of branding ourselves here. A real person shows that there's a real person behind the shop. Then we actually have a real business that's being run here. Okay. So then we do our shop title here. Do a real quick description. I do like I just repeat my shop title here. We'll do Intercast shop here. Do a little dash, and we'll do let's see here, cool and awesome shirts. All right, and then this shows you what it's gonna show in the Google results. So if your shop was to come up in Google, you would see this is how it would show in Google. So if you know anything about Google SEO, you can also go ahead and put some good SEO terms in here, some good keyword placement, and that way maybe you can possibly have your store to get indexed a little bit higher in Google. So then we want to put our location here. Again, you can put your city location, or you can put where it's actually going to be shipped from. That would be the Printful location. I'm gonna go ahead and just put in my location here. And then the customer would see how many sales you have, how long you've been on Etsy. And then you would also see how many times your shop's been favorited. Um, here, here is your kind of your little announcement area. It says optional, but this is not optional. This is something that you manage, that you want to do every single time. You always want to have a shop announcement. Okay, we'll put just opened. Cool and awesome new shirts. Capitals here. Then we'd put like let's say we're running a promotion, so we're doing all this month all unisex shirts. I do actually do this exact promotion. All unisex shirts are $14.99. That is a 40% savings, which it is actually a 40% savings from where I actually set the retail price from. Also, and I do this also, all returning customers let's use guests, because guests is more personal. All returning guests get a 10% off coupon. Oops, did not spell that correctly. Yeah, 10% coupon, that's what I do. You have an option to, whenever someone makes a purchase, to automatically send them a personalized message, or not I guess it's not personalized, it's an automated message where you can include a coupon code, and that's what I do. Whenever a customer makes a purchase, they get a coupon code for 10% off their next purchase. So, all right, and we'll go ahead and save that. So what you see here is now we have a good introduction here. We got this month's promo, and then we also have a we're letting the customers know that when they make a purchase, they're actually going to have an additional savings. So, and then what we see here, which is actually kind of important, is you see that when it was last updated. This is important because if a customer comes in here and sees that you haven't updated your announcement area in like 3 months, then they're going to wonder if you're actually an active seller. They're not going to see you as a trustworthy seller, because why haven't you updated your announcement information? So you always want to make sure. I go through at least once a month. I go through and I update this announcement information. Even if I don't change this information, even if all this stays the same, I just go to edit and save. And once you do that, it automatically updates to the current dates. So it's important that you always make sure that this updated on date is constantly being updated here, so that the customer can see that you actually care and you're running a shop. And then you can add featured items. So this will take you to your listings area, and you'll see like this is it will show all your listings here, but this little star here shows feature this listing. And then when we go back to our store here, you can now see that this listing is now featured on in my announcements area here, and you can do up to 4 items. We scroll down. Actually, let's go into the edit shop area here. So we can also do custom rearranging. I actually don't do custom rearranging. I keep mine as a the newest items on top. The reason for this is because even though you can do a custom rearrange, every single time you list a new item, it's going to automatically show on the very top here. So that means every single time you list a new item, if you want custom orders, you have to go through and re-customize it every single time. It's a lot of work, so I just don't do it. I just keep everything on the very top there. If there's something that I know is selling very well, I'll go ahead and put it in the featured area. That way the customers can see our top selling stuff. And the customers can always sort however they want to sort it. You know, they have that option themselves. So you'll also have a contact shop owner button. This is where a customer can contact you directly. The customer will be able to see how many sales you have and how many admirers. Admirers are people who have favorited your shop. Them are admirers. What admirers do is every time you add a new item, they're going to be able to, I believe they get an email saying that you've added something new or some kind of a notification that you've added something new to your shop. Then you'll obviously see reviews. You want to try to strive for 5 stars. The Etsy community is very particular. If you don't have 5 stars, it's like you have 0 stars. So you want to strive for 5 stars as much as possible. This is why customer service is so important on Etsy. I'm not saying that you need to give in to every single demand, but you have to be reasonable with what you're when you're communicating to your customers. Try to, if you can, appease them if you can, because there is one bad review can really ruin a new shop. So just be very careful about that. A customer can post a review up to 60 days after they made the purchase. After 60 days, they're not allowed to post their review. So they have a lot of window to decide if they're going to destroy your store by posting a terrible review. Now, there is one upside of when a customer does post a review, you are able to give feedback. So you do want to make sure that you use that. If you do get bad feedback, use that as a way of communicating to not just that person who left bad feedback, but to the other people who are going to be reading the reviews, to let them better understand the issue behind it. So like I had one person give me bad feedback. I think the only person who's ever gave me bad feedback. They gave me a 3 out of 5, which luckily, since I had so many good 5-star reviews already, it didn't affect my star rating. I'm still at 5 stars. But they gave me a bad review, gave me 3 stars because it didn't quite fit the way they thought it was going to fit. And I left them a feedback reply saying, well, the listing did say it was going to be semi-fitted, and that if you were unsure, and that there was a pricing or there was a sizing chart in the images on the listing, which there was. So I also said, so in my actual listing, I said semi-fitted. I said make sure that you look at the sizing chart in the images, and then I also said that if you're unsure if it's going to be the right size for you, to size up. So there's 3 indicators in the listing to for them to better understand how the sizing is going to work. So that way, when a customer comes in and they've used this, read this review, and they get a better understanding of the process I went through to ensure that customer, even though they did say it did not fit them correctly, it was on the customer that they ordered the wrong size, not on me for not providing the information the customer needs to get an accurate sizing. So the customer was in the wrong there, not me. I did everything I can to make sure the customer knew what size to order. The customer ordered the wrong size. So it's very important that you leave constructive feedback and not just rant at the customer about how they're an idiot. You know, that doesn't help you or the customer or any of your future customers. All right. Then updates, this is just Etsy update type stuff. You don't really need know anything about that. Here is the about section. This is where you actually need to do some work. Okay. So you have a lot of ways of really kind of telling your story, you could say. You can add a short video that walks you through who you are, what your store is about, what products you sell. You can add up to 5 videos or 5 images that include captions. I upload at least my my logo. Let's do something large here. Upload at least my logo, and you can add a little caption, explain a little bit about the logo, and then you have the story headline. Okay, this is where you tell like a 1 sentence like header about who your story is. So you could say, what is our store called? Intercast Shop. Intercast Shop is a high quality custom shirt store. And then you'd save that, and then you can go into a bit more detailed here. This is where you could say we use high quality custom apparel and offer outstanding services. Our products are printed on top quality garments in a state-of-the-art facility. We take pride in delivering an amazing product that you will wear proudly for years. While other providers will leave you wishing for a refund, we stand behind our product with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Now, if you're going to say 100% satisfaction guarantee, you're going to have to stand by that guarantee. So if you're not going to offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee, which I do on my shop, I'm willing to take a loss to make sure that the review comes in good. I'm willing to offer that guarantee. If you're not willing to offer that guarantee, do not include that guarantee, because you have to stand by what you say. Okay. And then our mission is to bring you the coolest designs at the lowest prices. Our products are the best gifts that allow you to express yourself to the world. That's almost verbatim what I put in on my store. So that's how I was so able to just read that out so well to you guys. It wasn't off the cuff of my head. It was actually, I was reading kind of verbatim, almost 100% exactly how I wrote my story. So, and that gives customer confidence. Not only does it give customer confidence, you have to fill this out to get a better ranking on the Etsy search engine. If you do not fill this information out, at least have a story headline, at least have a story, at least have an image, then your listing will rank less than people who have this stuff filled out. Etsy incorporates this into their SEO. Okay, very important you fill this out. Then you can also add social media links. If you have a secondary website, you can add your websites also. You can add a little bit more about who you are, or copy paste what you put in your personal profile, and then you want to tell your customer a little bit about where it's coming from. So I just put like the Printful stuff on there because that's where it's coming from. And then your store policies. A lot of this stuff is going to be pre-filled out based on what you have put in when you were creating your shop, like your processing time, your import stuff, checkout. Etsy provides to check out all the checkout stuff so that you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Your return policies, all this stuff is set by you when you're creating your shop. And some of this stuff is just standard stuff that Etsy automatically puts in there. Like this return policy, if it's customized, can't be returned. Perishable stuff obviously can't be returned. Digital downloads can't be returned, obviously. And health hygiene stuff can't be returned. This is just standard Etsy return policy stuff that they're going to make sure that if a customer is forcing you to do a return, the Etsy will stand behind you at least the minimum if it meets these requirements. Okay. And then your privacy policy, which is also set by Etsy, and you can edit each and every single one of these. So you can edit your estimated shipping time, which I would edit your estimated shipping time. Okay. Printful will almost 100% of the time ship within 2 days, 2 or 3 days. Okay. 2 or 3 business days, but you always want to put yourself a little leeway. So what I do is I put 1 to 7 business days. Okay. A lot of times if someone orders something on Thursday, Etsy's not going to start the fulfillment till Monday. So if Etsy doesn't fulfill it till Monday, that's like 5 days of processing that you have to deal with, and it could be later, depending if it goes on hold for whatever reason. So you need to give yourself a little kind of a cushion here. And one of the great things about Etsy is the customers understand. The customers don't expect you to ship the item the day that they order it, okay? This isn't Amazon. The customer doesn't expect 2-day delivery. The customer understands it's coming from a real person. They have real struggles. They have real shipping issues. As long as you lay it out and put it in front of them, they will understand. If you lie to them, if you tell them that it will ship in 2 days, but you can't ship stuff in 2 days, then they will get upset. But if you tell them you can't ship until 1 to 7 days, then they'll expect 1 to 7 days. Okay? And this is business days, so weekends don't count. All right? So we'll go ahead and put that in there. Then you can choose to accept returns or not. If you choose not to accept returns, you're gonna see less sales. Okay, people want to know that they have the option to return if they're not satisfied with the product. But you have, as the seller, the option to not accept returns. Okay, Printful is very good with the returns. If you return something to Printful because it's defective, they will reship it to the customer for free. Okay. Now, if a customer does not like the product because they ordered the wrong size, you're going to eat the cost on that. Printful's not going to accept a return on a product because you chose the wrong size. That's up to you and making sure the customer understands the sizing charts. So you'll have to eat the cost on that if you're going to accept returns on that. Me personally, I don't accept returns for items if they're not sized correctly. If you order the wrong size, I'm not going to take that return. I'll only accept returns on defects. And I lay that out in my FAQs that are displayed on all of my listings, okay? So I accept returns, but there are situations in which returns will not be accepted. I do not accept exchanges. You can't do an exchange because I'm going to eat the cost on that. This is a custom product. Once I print it, I can't resell that. It's done. Okay? And then I normally put 30 days of the delivery, let them try it out for 30 days. Normally if there's defective, you'll hear about it in the first couple days or so. And they have to ship it back within 30 days. I also preference that they have to pay for shipping. I'm not going to pay for shipping if you want to return it. This does two things. It prevents people from just buying something, wearing it, and then once they're done with wherever they wanted to wear it at, return it to you, because now they have to pay money out of their pocket to get to do the return, and that deters people from doing them types of purchases. So and then it also prevents people from just doing returns for just no particular reason at all, just because they didn't like it or whatever, so that's why I always make them pay for the returns on their end. And you can accept if you want to accept cancellations or not. You have to, this is really up to you, because once you submit that order to Printful and they start that fulfillment process, you can't cancel it. Once they start the fulfillment, you can't cancel it. You can cancel it up until they start fulfilling it. But after they start fulfilling it, it's being shipped. It's done. It's over with. Okay? So accepting cancellations is up to you. I personally do accept cancellations, just because I am willing to eat the costs on certain ends of things. So I'll do that just to make a customer happy, Then you can select which items are not going to be able to be exchanged or returns. And this includes items that are on sale. So if you put something on sale, if it's on sale, maybe a clearance item, you don't accept returns on the clearance item. So you can do that. And then you could do the privacy stuff. The other allows you to write in some additional stuff. I do write in additional privacy stuff, but that's up to you. And then publish that stuff. And then we have the FAQs. All right, FAQs are very important. FAQs are listed at the very bottom of every single one of your Etsy listings. These are frequently asked questions that you don't want your customers to constantly be messaging you about every single time they want to place an order. One thing about Etsy customers are they will ask you questions about every little thing. So you want to make sure you're as detailed as possible in your listing descriptions and in your FAQs, so you're not getting conversations every 2 seconds. For me, my frequently asked questions that I put in there is I will put in processing times. So I'll say processing times during off-peak months. Orders are processed within 2 to 7 business days. That's Monday through Fridays, and then are ready for shipping. During peak seasonal months, so that's going to be your fourth quarter, orders could be processed as much as late as 5 to 12 business days. That's Monday through Friday, and then are ready for shipping. I do domestic and international shipping because Printful offers international shipping, so there's no reason for me not to offer international shipping. And then I'll say normally the packages after processing they'll arrive within five business days, and the shipping option I choose has that as the time window. And international shipping, I make sure that they know they should expect it 4 to 8 business days for Canada and 7 to 16 business days for other worldwide orders. If for whatever reason when I'm doing the international order, Etsy says that the time frame is going to be outside of the 7 to 16 business days, I will message the customer, making sure they know that is going to be the case. It's very important that you're transparent with your customers because you don't want these bad reviews. And then I'll also do my personal store return policy. Okay. So I'll say that each order is custom and printed on demand. This is very important that you say each order is custom and printed on demand. Okay. The reason why we say specifically it's custom and printed on demand is because of our return policy. The following items cannot be returned or exchanged: custom or personal orders. Okay. This way the customer knows that unless the order is defective, they're not going to be able to do a return. Okay. So I say each order is custom and printed on demand. I say printed on demand. That way the customer knows that that product is not already printed. It's being fulfilled as the order is being submitted. Okay. And so therefore I don't accept returns unless they're defective products. In the rare event in which the order is shipped with a defect, we will offer a replacement or a refund if the defect is reported within 30 days. We do not accept returns or replacement in cases where the customer needs a smaller or larger size, color, etc. Okay? If you change your mind or the product you received is not what you expected, please contact us before returning it. Okay, this prevents the customer from just sending it back to the fulfillment center because the return address is going to be Printful. So we don't want just random stuff being sent back to Printful with us not knowing why it got sent back to there. Okay. And then I also include, unless arrangements are made with us, you cover the cost of the return. Okay, very important on that. If you're gonna allow returns, that you accept if you're gonna cover the cost of returns or not. I personally do not cover the cost of returns. Okay. Then I also do an FAQ about why the new shirt smells. If you haven't ordered a custom printed shirt yourself, then you may not know this, but the way that they wash the shirts to print on them, they use a particular type of solution that causes them to have a distinct smell. Now, the smell's not permanent, but it's definitely noticeable when they take it out of the package. You don't want customers to say, "Well, when I bought this shirt, it smelled so terribly that I need a return on this. I can't accept this smelly shirt." You need to explain that yes, when they first get the shirt, it's gonna have a distinct odor. So what I do is I do a simple thing. Why my new shirt smells? The odor that you may smell in your new tea is a byproduct of the custom printing method used to print the design. But don't fret, the odor from the printing is just a temporary addition. Now that your tea is out of the confined space of the shipping bag, the printing smell will dissipate after a few days and a wash cycle, okay? So this is telling the customer that that smell is not a permanent thing. It's just something that's part of the process of doing the custom print, and there's nothing to worry about. Also adds a clause here about lost and stolen packaging and trackings. I say all orders will come with a tracking number. Now it's up to you to choose if you want to have a tracking number or not. You can do shipping without tracking, but I would highly recommend that every single one of your orders come with a tracking number. This ensures that you can track where the package is and if it was delivered, because you will get people who will try to scam you, and you need to make sure that you can confirm that that order was actually delivered to that customer, and you have a tracking number to go with it. So I say all orders will come with a tracking number, which will be sent to you when the order is about to be shipped. Lost packages will be replaced when we confirm with the delivery service that they indeed did lose the package. No replacement will be sent until we have this confirmation. So if a customer says, "Well, they delivered it, but it didn't come. I got the tracking said it was delivered, but I never got it." Then since you have the tracking number, you can call the postal service and say, "Hey, what happened to this package?" Unless the postal service that it got lost in transit, the customer is shit out of luck on that. Because most likely there's two situations that happened, okay? Because these packages do not require signatures, okay? Because they're not high cost items, so they will not require a signature. So one of two things happen. One, they're trying to scam you to get a second copy of the shirt, okay? Or a refund of their cost. Or two, it got shipped to the address, that was sitting on their porch or their hallway or whatever, and their neighbor came and took it, or something along the lines. That's not all for our fault. We gave them a tracking number. We told them approximately when it was going to be delivered. It is up to them to ensure that they're at their residence able to accept the package when it's going to be delivered. This is why it's important to have a tracking number. We will not accept the cost of having to replace that if it is not our fault. And I made that clear. And then I also add stolen packages will not be replaced. The fault is not on us, so we will not take the hit for the loss. All customers have at least 2 to 5 days to make sure you can collect the package, as the tracking number will tell you when the package should arrive. And that's all true. And so that's the FAQ that I include with my frequently asked questions. Okay, it's very important that you at least put these FAQ points on your FAQ on your shop, because these are going to be the most important and prevalent pieces of information that your customer is going to want to know, and it's going to save you a lot of return costs and a lot of replacement costs if you just have this up front, so the customer knows before they make the purchase. And then you could add, if you're selling in the UK, there are UK laws that require you to add contact information. Okay, if you're selling within the UK, this information is required by law if you're going to sell in the UK. So you must include the contact information by law. Okay, otherwise you cannot sell within the UK. All right, so these are all things that you want to make sure that you have filled out in your store profile. Okay, so let's go back to my store here. Let's leave. All right, and they will all be displayed here. Obviously I didn't fill out that last bit, so it's not going to show here. Once you have all that filled out, you'll see that your listings will actually have a higher placement on Etsy. Okay, it's very important that you have that stuff filled out. So let's go to our shop manager too, because once we got that filled out, we actually want to do a few other things. Okay, here is where you have all your navigational stuff. So you'll see your listings. If someone has a conversation, you'll see it here. Your active orders will be here: open, completed, all, canceled. Your stats page. You'll see your finances. Okay. In finances, you will have your current balance. Your current balance is the amount that is waiting to be deposited to you. Your available balance is the cleared amount that is ready to be cleared and ready to be deposited. Okay. Etsy has a limit for most people who are doing this inside the U.S. that you have to reach a minimum of $25 to have a daily payout. Okay. They will pay you weekly if your account is under $25, but if you want a daily payout, you need to at least reach a minimum of $25. Okay. And then your bill. Anytime you make a listing, that listing will cost you $25 to or 25 cents to or 20 cents to list. The same goes for when the listing is renewed. And every single time someone orders from you, that listing will then automatically be renewed so that it will show up again. Otherwise, if it's not renewed, then that listing just won't show up again. So it will automatically be renewed, and you'll be charged another 20 cents. So just expect that every time that a purchase is made, that you've automatically been charged 20 cents for that listing to then be resubmitted to be viewed on Etsy again. Okay. This gets paid out every month. At the beginning of the month, it will automatically get paid out. That's why you need a credit card. If you reach a threshold of, I believe, I guess new accounts are $25. For my account, it's $100. So I guess it's a tiered system. Once you sell a certain amount, then it'll let you tier to different amounts. So I guess new accounts are whenever you hit $25, you're automatically charged at $25. For me, I guess the current selling tier I'm at right now, I guess, it doesn't charge me until I reach $100. And then it will automatically charge me no matter what time of month it is, that amount. So you just want to make sure that you keep your credit card file up to date, your card on file up to date. If they cannot charge your card, they will stop having your listings appear on Etsy. Okay, so make sure you're able to always pay your outstanding balances, because you don't want they're not going to necessarily close your store down, but your listings just won't appear on Etsy. And people won't be able to buy from you. Okay, so you just want to make sure you're able to pay this balance off every month. Then your payment settings, I'm not going to go into that. You also want to make sure you have your taxpayer ID information put in there. That's important because they won't pay you unless you have your taxpayer ID information on. That's by law. So you have to make sure you put all their information in there. Then you got your marketing stuff, Google Shopping, goddamn, promoted listing. That's promoted listings with inside Etsy, sales and promotions, and then key shopping dates. I'll go over more of this stuff when it goes to actually creating a listing. And that's pretty much all you really need to know. We have setting stuff here. So this is more of how your appearance is going to be. This is the stuff we did earlier. One important thing is messages to buyers. Okay. Remember I had said earlier that you're going to be able to send an automated message whenever someone makes a purchase. This is where you do that. Anytime someone makes a purchase, they're going to get a confirmation, and in that confirmation, whatever you put here will be also sent to that inside that confirmation email. And so this is where you can put a thank you for your purchase, and then include a coupon code. Let's just say 10%. That's what I do for their next purchase. And the same thing goes for this is for physical items. This is for digital items. Then you can also then connect like Facebook pages for your if you got like a Facebook page for your store, or a Twitter page for your store. and then a banner image. I don't use banner images because it takes up too much of the. Let's open another page here. It takes too much of the real estate, the store real estate here. What would happen would if you put a banner image right above this area right here, you'd have a banner image that'd be like that big there. In my opinion, if you have the banner image plus you have this image here, plus you have featured listings, and a customer has to scroll so far down just to see the first listing. In my opinion, I'd rather them be able to see that before they have to scroll down. I'd rather be able to see at least the start of a listing here. So that's where you'd put like your thank you and your coupon code for the next purchase. And then you can also edit policies, change the store name if you wanted to change your store name, and then do some language selection here. So that's pretty much how you set up your Etsy store. So now that we have our Etsy store set up, let's actually go into Printful and how to use Printful with Etsy. So this is actually, I decided not to create a new Printful account. I'm just going to use the Printful account that I have here. What you're going to see is you're going to see some grayed out stuff, just because I don't want you to see my customer information if I have to display any customer information outside of the names. You could see up here is where you see just a real quick glance of your current 30-day or 28-day sales. So you can see I had 0 orders. I had 0 orders I placed today. I had 9 orders so far that I placed this week. When you hover over it, it compares it to the previous period, which would be the previous 7 days. 22 orders in the last 28 days. Then it compares again to the last 28 days. And then the profits from the last 28 days. Now, keep in mind, the profits is not going to be your actual true profits, because it doesn't take into consideration your Etsy costs for your listings. It doesn't take into consideration any kind of sales tax you have to apply. Remember, if you are selling within your state, if you're selling within the state Printful operates in, you have to charge sales tax. That's by law, you do. So I live in Florida, so I charge sales tax, the state sales tax for Florida. Then I also charge sales tax for every location in which Printful has a fulfillment center. So California, I charge California sales tax. I charge whatever this is called, and then North Carolina sales tax. You need to make sure you stay compliant with the current U.S. laws if you're going to sell within U.S. Same thing if you're selling within European, you got to make sure that you're charging VAT and things like that. Etsy, I think, covers that for the most part. VAT is value added tax, which is a requirement for EU states. So, and then down here you'll see your current pending orders. These orders are waiting to be fulfilled. Then my current fulfilled, I can go down and look through that if I wanted. I'm not going to go into what the orders look like when you click into them, just because I don't think I want to go into the editing process and have to blur that stuff out. But essentially, when you go into it, it's going to show you the details of the order, and like customer address and stuff like that. So I really don't want to show that to you, so I don't have to do additional editing there. But we can also go into reports. This is going to show reports of how you're doing across the different stores you have. Printful allows you to create different stores for the different integrations that you have. So if you're selling on Amazon, it has a different store. It's like a hub for Amazon. Etsy, same thing. If you're doing self-submitting, manual submitting, you can do your own store for that, and so on and so forth. So this is my my growth, I guess, my stats for my Etsy store. So you can see I started initials. I started my initial sales in March, and you could see that all the way up until today, this month so far, I've had 20 orders with a total of $312 in revenue. I believe that's revenue. Is that revenue? Yeah, that's revenue. $312 in revenue, not profits, but revenue. So that's complete toss. That's complete the cost of the product, the base cost of the product, excluding like shipping and stuff like that. Not your actual profit margin, like not what your the additional cost you're putting on top of it, but just the base cost of it. So 20 shirts. Maybe it does include, because that's a high amount for 20 shirts. I think it does include your actually estimated profits too. And then we have stores. So here you'd be able to create new stores. So you'd be able to integrate with create just a custom store. This is for manual orders. If you want to connect to a e-commerce platform, they got a whole bunch of e-commerce platform like Etsy, Amazon, WooCommerce, Shopify, a whole bunch of stuff. And then you got the shipping platform. So you got like eBay, Prestella Shop, and then Squarespace. These are like ShipStation stuff. This is where there's not true integration with Printful, but through ShipStation you can integrate with Printful essentially. So you're using ShipStation as the middleman. And so I'm gonna first go through how to create a well, I'm not gonna actually, because I've already set it up, and I can't double integrate. So I'm actually just gonna show you what it looks like when you do an Etsy integration. So we're gonna go into it, and it was essentially what you're gonna do is you follow the process. You click. Let's go into stores here. You click connect, and you just select where you want to integrate. You choose Etsy, and then you just follow the instructions that you got here, and it's that simple. And then you're integrated. And once you do that, you'll have your Etsy store, and it will have you want to do a couple things before you start adding stuff to the Etsy store. You want to go into stores here and click on edit, and you want to do a couple things. You want to go to your carriers and services, and you want to make sure that you have all your carriers selected here. This way, when you're going to create your order, all the carriers show up in the shipping area of the order creation, so that you can see the cost based on every single one of these shipping places. DHL is going to be the cheapest shipping provider, and they do 3 to 6 day business ground shipping in the U.S. And right after that is going to be UPS, United States Postal Service Priority Mail, which is going to be United States Postal Service First Class Mail is actually going to be right above DHL for 3 to 5 business days. So most of my orders actually ship at DHL expedited, and then international shipping is going to be the cheapest one is going to end up being, for most cases, I think it's international economy with tracking. Actually, without tracking is going to be the cheapest, but I always include tracking for all international orders. Actually, for all my orders, I include tracking. So I actually use the international economy with tracking, which is the cheapest international in most cases. It will give you the prices for each of these shipping platforms when you start creating your order. And then you want to go to, but you want to make sure you have all these checked. And then you want to go to your packing slip. One of the great things about Printful is that they do custom packing slips. So what you can do is you can create a branding sticker, and this is the thing that's going to be, you actually want to make sure it's black and white. Let's find out more here. So it's not gonna find out more. It's probably a pop-up. Yeah. All right. So this is what it looks like when you upload your own logo. The packing slip that's going to be inside there is going to have your logo on it, and the sticker that's going to be on the packaging will also have your logo. Okay. So that gives you a little bit of additional branding. Then you can include an additional customer service email if you want, which will be on the packing slip. Same thing with the phone. And then a custom packing slip message. This could be a promotional code or something like that that you want to include with all your packing slips. Since I do custom, I do all manual orderings, and I don't necessarily get all my orders from Etsy. I don't put in a custom packing slip message. But if you're only going to be using Etsy for your main store, then go ahead and put in that same 10% coupon that you put in the email that you put in that you put over here in messages to buyers. Put that same message over here in Printful, so that they see that also that coupon, and you can possibly get a repeat sell there, and that will be printed on there. Return address, you can change the return address. By default, the return address is going to be Printful. So wherever the fulfillment center it came from, it's going to be where the return address is going to be. But you can change that to your address. What that means is that if they try to return it to you, it's going to come to your address. And then if you need to do the return to Etsy because it was defective, and you need Etsy to do a replacement fulfillment, they're going to require you to return that shirt back to you in most cases. Return the shirt back to them. And so you're going to have to then mail that shirt back to Etsy. Sometimes they do just take a photo for proof of a defection or something like that, and then they'll do the fulfillment. But sometimes they do require you to ship it back to them, depending on what the product is. And so I just keep it as the default return address to be Etsy, or to be Printful. So when someone does return something to Etsy, I automatically know about it. They automatically just put the refunded amount back into my account, or they replace it if I request that. It's all up to you. If you sell within North Carolina or California, these are the two fulfillment centers in the United States, you need to have a reseller certificate if you don't want taxes to be applied. Otherwise, if your customer is ordering within California or ordering within North Carolina, Printful is going to charge you taxes, okay? And if you're not charging taxes to your customer, then you're eating the cost and the taxes. But if you have a reseller certificate, that normally means you have an IEN number or EIN number, then they won't charge taxes on you, so you won't have double taxation essentially. They'll be acting as your vendor. So if you do have that, make sure you do include that in your profile here, so you don't get charged taxes doubly essentially. If not, they'll just charge taxes, and you'll just have to make sure that you're charging your customers the taxes, so that the customers are paying for the taxes, and then the taxes are being transferred essentially. They do order pack-ins, so if you want to, let's say, have a business card included with your package, or a sticker or something like that included with every shirt that gets sent out, all you have to do is mail them the pack-in that you want. So if you got business card as your pack-in, mail them your business cards to the Printful address here, and to the quality of pack-ins that you're sending, with the tracking number of the pack-in, the pack-in's name, and the photo of how it looks. Okay. You'll include that here when you click add pack-in. And then when they receive the pack-in, they'll notify you, and you'll be up and going. So every single time that you order, the customer orders a shirt, they'll pack in your business card, and they'll send that business card to your customer. Now, pack-in to do a pack-in does cost additional. I believe it's 50 cents per pack-in. So for every single time that you include a pack-in, they're going to charge you an additional 50 cents with that pack-in. So it's up to you if you want to do that. Actually, it's 75 cents. 75 cents. And it's 75 cents per order and 85 cents to store. So for every day that you're storing it at their facilities, they'll charge you 85 cents per day. and then 75 cents per order to do the actual packing in part. So I guess they may have changed the pricing on that, since I don't do pack-ins, but last time I looked at it, I thought it was 50 cents. And so that's essentially how you do the Etsy part of your store. Me personally, I don't do Etsy orders. The reason being is they are very limited in the way that they integrate. Okay. When you do a new order, we do Etsy order here. Got nothing because whatever. I don't do Etsy, so I don't got nothing on there. I don't do the Etsy integration. But what it's going to do is it's going to ask for a name. It's going to ask for a description. Actually, it's going to do a pre-filled description. And it's going to ask for a couple extra details. But that's it. And then it's going to submit that to Etsy. And then in Etsy, in your listings, it's going to show up in your drafts. But what they don't ever, what Etsy does, or what Printful doesn't fill out, is first they only include 2 photos. Okay, so you'll have to include a photo of your logo. I always include a logo photo, and then you'll also have to include a sizing chart, because you want to include a sizing chart as one of your photos. They do the titles, they do the listing categories, they do primary colors. They don't do holiday selection. They don't do occasion selection. It's set to manual renewal instead of automatic renewal. So you have to change that. I always do automatic. They don't have they don't select Printful as a Printful partner. So you have to come back and select that as a partner, okay? Which is weird. They don't include any tags, so you have to come back into the listing and add all the tags. They don't include any material stuff. They don't include any custom SKUs, so you have to do that yourself. What they do is they do all the variations, and they don't do custom shipping options. They have Etsy prepackaged shipping selection. So if you want to do custom stuff, you have to manually change all that stuff up. All right. And that's it pretty much. So you have to do a lot of extra editing after you submit the product. Okay. Which is required because you have to do tags. You know, you have to, if you want your listings to sell, you need to do tags. You know, you want to have materials, all this stuff you want to have filled out correctly. And Etsy or Printful doesn't do it inside their integration. So I just create my listings myself. What's great about Etsy is that once you have one listing, you can create a copy of that listing, and it will do a 100% copy of that listing. And all I need to do is I just need to change out my photos. I need to change out my title. All this stuff stays the same. My description stays the same. All the production stuff stays the same. Change my tags. Material stays the same. Pricing all stays the same. Variations all stay the same. Shipping's the same. So when I make a copy, the only thing I have to do is I have to change the tags, to change the title, I have to change the photo. That's it. Much easier than using the Etsy integration where I have to go back to every single listing and add a whole bunch of stuff. I'd rather just change 3 sections instead of having to add and configure 6 sections. It's much easier for me. And you'll find that too. It'll be much easier for you just to copy a listing than to go in and have Etsy do the create the listing for you. The downside on that is that it won't do the automatic fulfillment. So when you need to actually go ahead and create a product, you actually go and create a new order, you'll have to do that whole process yourself. So what I'm gonna do is when I go into creating a listing, I'm also gonna go into placing an order, because they kind of go hand in hand. So I'll include the creating a new order on Printful with in the same section in the same video that I do creating a listing. So, but that's essentially what you're going to get from Printful. My recommendation for Printful is don't do the integration. Do all the orders manually yourself. This gives you better control over when and how the order is shipped, and how the listing itself is going to be created. Me personally, I find it simpler and I find it faster. Okay, and that's it. That's pretty much it. It's dead simple to get up and running with Printful and Etsy integration. And Etsy. This video kind of went a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. That was going to be a super short video, but it ended up being a much longer video than I thought. But I hope that you guys learned a lot. Let me just go to Facebook real quick, and I just want to make sure I covered everything that people had requested they wanted to hear, at least in this part of the instructional. See here. All right. So most people are asking for stuff that I'm going to include in additional videos. So somebody did want to know about sales tax and refunds on Etsy. I think I did go over sales tax and refunds. Like I said, you want to make sure you want your refunds are clear. Your refund policy is clearly outlined. Remember, you are running this business. You're just using Etsy as the platform to get the sales, and you're using Printful as the fulfillment. But this is your business. You are the customer service representative. So all returns are under your control. All orders are under your control. Etsy is not going to do customer support for you. Neither will Printful. So you need to make sure that you have a clear outlined refund policy. And like I said, if you need to make sure that you're charging sales tax for any state in which you're currently living in, because that's the state you're doing business in, technically. And if you're a registered business, you need to also charge sales tax for the state in which you're registered to do business in, if they do charge sales tax. You need to also make sure that you're charging sales tax in states in North Carolina and California, unless you have a reseller certificate. Then you don't necessarily need to charge sales tax in them two states, because you're not going to be collecting sales tax, or you're not going to be charged sales tax from Printful. But them are the essential sales tax information that you really need to know about. Etsy return. Okay, so most of these other questions I'll handle in other videos. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you learned a lot. Make sure that you have any additional questions that pertain to this particular video, that you either come to the Facebook group, the Inside Merch Facebook group. That's at facebook.insidemerch.com, and post there, and I'll try to help you out there. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, comment below, and I'll try to get to your comment and answer your comment. I'm very bad at replying to comments on YouTube, but you can place your comment down there, and I'll try to get to your comment on YouTube. And to get to the YouTube video channel, you just need to go to youtube.insidemerch.com, and that will direct you to the Inside Merch YouTube channel. All right. Again, my name is Sonny Woods, and I represent Inside Merch, and I appreciate you watching this video.